Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I have another Poundland DIY video for you. I'm going to be turning some Halloween bits into more kind of my style, a bit more muted down, not so scary, bit of black and white theme going on with this one. I don't typically decorate in black and white, but actually for the Halloween season this year I've really jumped on the kind of black and white minimalist kind of, you know, theme going on. I don't know why, it just seems to have happened that way and I'm not really that mad at it. But anyway, today's video is actually in collaboration with one of my favourite YouTubers here on the platform, and that is Ewan from Mr. Carrington. I have followed him longer than this channel has even existed, which is so weird to me now to be collaborating with him, because I remember watching his Poundland videos and his DIY videos and being in absolute awe of what he does, and now I'm kind of doing it myself, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, today's video is in collaboration with him, so I will leave his video and everything like that down in the description down below, so you can go and check him out if you don't already know who he is or follow him or anything like that. Please do make sure to head over to his video, subscribe to his channel, because he is really great at the Poundland DIYs, other DIYs. His shopping videos are so funny, his vlogs are hilarious. I practically sign into every single video every week that he posts, and yeah, so I'm just sure you will love him as much as I do. So anyway, without further ado, I'm just gonna get straight on into the DIY part of this video. So for the first DIY, I used this light up cloche which I found in the Halloween section. I removed the bottom plate with like the light and stuff attached, and then used my screwdriver to remove the tabs of like the decorations that were inside, just so that I could kind of lose a bit of like the structure of the actual purple bit on the bottom. Once I'd done this, I was then able to kind of bend it a little bit so I could separate the glue which was holding the plastic bit and the purple bit together. I did end up snapping it a tiny bit where there was loads of glue, but it didn't matter as I could line it up perfectly and you could kind of like not really notice I broke that bit. So with the little bobble on top, I actually coloured that using one of these metallic leafing pens in the colour silver. This again is by the brand Rust-Oleum. Not sponsored, anything like that, not gifted, nothing. I bought this from B&Q with my own money, but they do sell them on Amazon as well, often for like £1 or so cheaper, and then you can get them delivered if you have Prime. So I'll make sure to leave that link down in the description down below, because I know the last time I mentioned them, some people went out and bought them and absolutely loved them. Anyway, so moving on, I sprayed the purple piece with the Rust-Oleum white gold spray paint. I wanted a kind of muted effect, but I didn't want to use like stark silver, so I thought this was a great alternative. I then made one of these little sock pumpkins, which I made in a recent tutorial, and I added this little craft tag to it and wrote the word pumpkin everything. I then used some hot glue on the bottom of the white gold like base and hot glued the pumpkin into place, and then put a few little dabs around the edges, attached the plastic cloche like thing again, making sure to line up the little crack, and once I had done that, my little pumpkin was then complete. Now thinking back on it, I think it might have been nice to add a little bit of straw in there for some texture, but I'm really happy with how it came out. I think it's a perfect base for any neutral kind of Halloween decor. It can also be introduced into like an autumn decor as well in the coming years. I think I'm gonna keep hold of this because I'm so happy with it. It's just the perfect neutral, as well as looking a tiny bit luxe as well as rustic, and I think it's a perfect balance of everything. So yeah, like I said, really happy with how this turned out. So for the second DIY, I used this like chrome inspired tea light holder which had this little ghost on the front. I absolutely loved the cutout, but just wasn't 100% keen on the chrome. It was nice, but it's not really to my taste. So I went ahead and I used the matte white spray paint by Rust-Oleum again. All of my cupboard seems to be full of Rust-Oleum. I don't know how it happens. It's just my favorite brand for paint, and it's always, you know, like super budget friendly without compromising on quality, so that's what always happens. So I spray painted it in a matte white. I made sure to remove like the little handle and everything so I didn't spray that. And then using the tag for the light up cloche, I just cut off a little strip of cardboard and coloured it in with a black Sharpie pen. Using a white Posca pen, I then wrote out the word trick or treat, kind of in a Ray Dunn inspired font. And then once that was dry, I just used some hot glue and just hot glued that little piece on the back and stuck it underneath the ghost part of the tea light holder. Now, I'm not really going to be using this as a tea light holder, but I think that this will be alright because obviously the heat will go upwards if you do put a candle inside. But yeah, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna or not, but I just love how it's turned out. I think it looks so simplistic and so minimal, and I just think it's so cute. I just love that little ghost on the front so much. So moving on to the third and final DIY, I used this arrow sign that I know so many other people have been DIYing this season. This is obviously new in for this year. I don't think it was out in Poundland last year. But anyway, I took it outside, laid it down on my trusty spray painting bin bag, which I tend to reuse over and over and over. So as you can see, like the spray paint on here is pretty old, pretty dusted and busted and crusted and all sorts. But yeah, I taped it down because I didn't want to, you know, separate the pieces. So I made sure that the masking tape actually covered over the string in between each piece. For the white, I sprayed them using a matte white spray paint that I used in the previous DIY, and for the matte black, I just used a chalkboard paint. Both of these are by the brand Rust-Oleum, so I will make sure to leave them down in the description down below. Not sponsored, not gifted, nothing like that. I paid for these with my own money. I just seem to have a lot of them in my craft supplies. For the writing, I just went ahead with a Posca pen. I used a white one and a black one to get the text on, and I did like the reverse of, you know, if I was writing on a black, I would write with the white, and if I was writing on the white, I would go in with the black. And I wrote out the quote, "I put a spell on you and now you're mine," from Hocus Pocus. I absolutely love that movie. But for the white one, I used like a Ray Dunn inspired text, and for the black arrows, I kind of used a more like scriptive handwritten type brush font. I basically just used my own handwriting and made it nice and brushy, like using the Posca pens and making sure to just thicken it up after I'd done the original, you know, first bit of handwriting. So this is what the sign turned out like in the end. I'm not 100% happy with it because I am a bit of a perfectionist with my writing, but a few of them are just a little bit wonky, you know, like if you look at this one, look at that E. The pen smudged a little bit, but you can't complain. This is what all of the pieces look like together. These are two pumpkins that I made in a previous Poundland DIY, which fit in perfectly with the theme, as well as some ghost lights, which I also got from Poundland. I will leave my previous Poundland DIY video with these pumpkins in the description down below, so you can check them out as well. So that is the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know which one of the 3 DIYs in this video was your favourite, whether it was the Hocus Pocus inspired sign, the little tea light holder, or the kind of pumpkin in a cloche type thing. Fun fact, I did actually make another DIY for this video, but it hasn't made it because it was too scary for me, so I actually ended up putting it in the bin. It was a spell book with this skeleton coming out of it, and I really didn't like it, and I spent so long on it. I probably should have still included it in this just in case someone else liked it, but it wasn't ringing true with me, you know. I just wasn't feeling it. I know sorry, I'm just looking over at my file where the pieces are. I know in like some of the cutaway clips I did include like a few of my DIYs, you know, that I've done previously on my channel, because they were all Poundland DIYs and they were all kind of in with the same theme, and that's how I've decorated over in that area. So yeah, I think they work well together, so I will leave like the links to those videos down in the description down below so you can check them out if you haven't already done that as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do make sure to go and visit Ewan's channel if you haven't already. Like I said, the links to that also will be in the description box down below. And that's all I've got to say. I need to stop rambling on. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, and I will see you very soon for another one. Bye! Omen, I'm trying to spray paint this. Like, come on. I'm trying to spray paint this, come on. Move, look, move. You can't lay down here. You can't lay down here. Oh gosh. Do you just want cuddles? Is that what it is? Munch on my hand. Oh, look at that big teeth. Look at that big teeth. Such big teeth. Oh, you're a silly boy. You're a very silly boy.